city of Cleveland loves when the induction ceremony is here, but something that even adds a whole new element that we've never experienced in our city is a Clevelander being inducted. So it makes it so much more special.
It does. Joe Milliken joining us now. He's the author of a book called Let's Go, Benjamin Orr in the Cars. Joe, thanks for being here. You came all the way from Vermont.
I did.
To join us here.
10-hour drive, worth every second.
That's so awesome.
Excited to be here.
Wow, that's great. So tell us about your book.
Well, it is a biography about Benjamin Orr. Not a Cars book, biography about Ben.
Who's our Clevelander?
Yeah.
He is our Clevelander, and I believe he is the first Cleveland citizen to be elected into the Rock Hall of Fame.
That's just amazing.
You know, I talked with Wayne West and Chris Cambrough, former members of the band. I know you talked with both of them for your book as well.
I did.
And it was nice because I found out so much about Ben, and he always came back to Cleveland. He always had that hometown root, and hung out with these guys, you know, forever. You know, he just had that loyalty.
Absolutely. Ben never forgot where he came from. When the Cars were at the height of their career, whenever they were on tour, whenever they came back to Cleveland, he always looked up his friends, always got them tickets and backstage passes and T-shirts and limo rides. And he would, when he lived in Boston or in the Boston area, he would fly his friends into town just for a visit, fly them back. It's funny, Wayne told me that whenever them two got together, not only would he fly him back and forth, but Ben wouldn't let him spend a dime.
No kidding.
Yeah.
He just loved being able to treat his friends and family.
He was very generous. Incredible.
No, in fact, the family that you're staying with here in Cleveland, I've been talking with them a little bit this morning, and she has just books and books of great pictures, and she's like, this is Ben and hanging out with my mom. So it seemed like their fans became friends.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, he never forgot his friends, and he was just a great guy.
Yeah.
He really was.
It was sad. Unfortunately, Ben's not going to be able to be here for the induction ceremony, but you got to wonder, he would have just loved to be here. I mean, he just had for that dedication and to finally get recognized for all the great things that he'd done. And he, you know what, he really didn't care so much about being a rock star, you know?
Yeah, he had a different persona when he went on stage. It's almost like he flipped a switch when he'd go on stage and he'd become the rock and roller for a few hours and thrill millions of people. And then he was just Ben Orr off stage and just became a regular guy. Matter of fact, he lived in Vermont at the end of his life.
Did he really?
Yep, he lived about an hour north of me. And actually his son lives in Vermont too.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
So Ben Orr's young teenager performing on a show called Upbeat.
That's right.
And then there happened to have been someone who's watching that TV show Upbeat by the name of Rick Ocasek, and then contacted Ben. Is that right? And that's how they got together?
Yeah, they actually met a couple of times at like a party, and they were both doing some concert promotions and stuff early on. And the story goes, they met at a party one night and ended up down in a basement where there were some instruments, and Ben picked up an acoustic guitar and sang a Beatles song to Rick. And Rick said it was the most beautiful voice I ever heard in my life. And they were partners from that day on.
It's amazing.
And great, you know, they both each brought something so unique and different, and I think that was, you know, such a big part of success. Their looks totally different, sounds totally different. You know, usually you've got just that one lead singer, and that band had two, which was really extraordinary.
Yeah. Rick has said, of course I'm paraphrasing, but Rick has said that the quirkier kind of Cars songs he would sing, but the ones that needed a serious vocal, those were Ben's.
Those were Ben. Even doing Drive in one take, that's the rumor that went around.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
One of the interviews with one of the members told me that they would be in the studio and they actually got used to Ben doing things in one take. He would be standing around and they'd ask him if he's ready to go, and he'd say, yep, I'm ready to go.
Wow.
And he'd go in there and he'd sing a song in one take and walk out, and he'd be done.
That sure can spoil your sound engineers,
That's
right?
That's true.
Well, that's what happens when you are a rock star since you were about 15 years old.
Yeah.
It's all he ever wanted to do in his life. I mean, he left school.
Right.
At age, I think he was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, didn't graduate from Valley Forge.
Didn't graduate from high school. And it's all he ever wanted to do. And now look.
Yeah,
well, Joe,
right,
we're excited to
inducted.
read all about Ben in your upcoming book, and you're expecting it very soon to come out and be published.
Yeah, it's due out in November.
Okay.
And really excited about it. It's been a long journey. I have a full-time job, and I do writing on the side, so it's not like I can sit in my office and work on a book 8 hours a day. So I've done it in my spare time, but it's literally taken me a decade to write this book.
And for Cars fans and Ben Orr fans, you're going to be signing your book, and people can meet you this weekend, right, in Cleveland?
Well, I don't have the book yet, but I have some promotional materials to hand out to people,
great.
and I'm excited to talk about it. Because, unfortunately, Ben is not with us, I had to rely on other interviews to be his voice,
Sure.
and I've interviewed well over 100 people who have known him through his entire life.
Awesome.
So I'm really excited about it.
Joe's going to be on Public Square tomorrow from 3 to 5. Joe, thank you so much, and enjoy your time here in Cleveland.
I really appreciate it. I love being here, and thanks for having me.
You got it, bud.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.